Greetings, sports fans. ASMR sports back in your business for some relaxing sports card related whispered content. Folks, today I wanted to take a look at the WNBA world of cards because I was recently, well, let me say this. I basically have felt that investing and or collecting rookie year Caitlin Clark cards has been like one of the biggest opportunities, kind of no-brain ideas for, having your cards appreciate in value. Certainly, it seems like the biggest opportunity in today's market to me. And I've just about given up on virtually all other sports cards. Because I think the only opportunities that I see for acquiring sealed items that have a good chance of appreciating value are things that are, very difficult to get and that will sell out quickly. So you're sort of subject to competing with bots and, otherwise just sort of having a difficult time getting things. I'm thinking of stuff like, like Sapphire stuff from Topps that sells out very quickly. And sort of similarly high demand things from like Panini. So I don't really like to, try to get those things. It's too much hassle, stress, work. So I like to focus on things that are, sort of easier to come by, but that I feel have a good chance of appreciating in value. So the number of things that meets that qualification in the last couple of years has been very low. At least the number of things that qualify for that, those list of characteristics and that sort of interest me enough to go and get them has been very low. So consequently, I have not purchased many sports cards, to kind of hold on to in sealed form for future appreciation in value, as I have done for many, years, starting in about 2017. When I got back into the sports card market, however, the WNBA stuff, particularly with Caitlin Clark, who is, essentially a generational talent, plus in the WNBA, has got me thinking, that it's, unless something like wacky happens, like she just has, a ton of injuries and can't play for a while, or, can't really make much of a career, or if she leaves the WNBA, unless, one of those two things happen, I think it's just inevitable that she will be kind of a transformative figure in the world of women's basketball, and therefore one that brings, both fans to the league, as it already has, very significantly, but also it might bring fans to, and collectors to, the world of, WNBA basketball cards, which are, primarily Prism these days. Very few sets in WNBA. So, all of that has made me a real believer in, picking up 2024 WNBA basketball cards and, just hanging on to them and see what happens with Caitlin and what happens with the value of those cards. So I have done a little bit of, picking stuff up, but not nearly as much as I, sort of wish I had. So I wanted to just kind of look here at, what some things in the WNBA card world are doing, and I'll start with looking at the value of basically the base. Actually, this chart card's a little bit wacky because the scale is not very helpful for this bottom figure, which is the value of a 2024 Prism, base rookie, ungraded of Caitlin, but it has been going up back at the beginning of June. It was $18.25 average price, and just kind of slowly, it's gotten up to about $20 price. That's a little bit down from maybe 3 weeks ago, but 2 or 3 weeks ago. But it is going up, and probably more prominently is the price increase, despite an initial drop in value on the PSA 10 graded silver Prism version of this card. It's been pretty steadily going up. If you look at the average, that little blue dotted line here. So that's just Caitlin Clark, and in the 2024 Prism cards, the most basic versions of those cards. But more importantly, I want to look at the price of the price movements of the blaster boxes of WNBA stuff. Now, I think so. Panini began making Prism WNBA cards in 2020, and I remember when that stuff came out, I was just sort of kind of blindsided by it. I didn't really even think about picking it up, but as soon as it came out, it was a very hot product because Sabrina Ionescu, who's one of the better players in the WNBA, and had a good college career, and I think was seen as something of a real breakthrough talent coming into the league. Her rookie cards were in that 2020 Prism NBA WNBA products, so right out of the gate, that stuff was pretty expensive. Let's see if it'll show up here. So that's this one, but the chart I have only goes back a year, so we won't really look before a year back on any of these price movements. But I was just explaining that 2020 was kind of the first year we had Prism WNBA. Before that, there were a variety of WNBA products over the years, and then there were gaps of years where they didn't make any card product for the WNBA. So it was kind of like, the Wild Wild West until 2020. But since 2020, they've, faithfully produced a new set of Prism WNBA cards, and now, more recently, with the 2024 class, they have started making other products like Select, Origins, might be one or two other that I'm missing, and then for the 2025 season, they're making Don Russ WNBA cards, so hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on some of those. Maybe we'll do a little bit of an opening, but in any event, 2020 Prism started out very expensive, so it's actually down, I think, a little bit, although over a year it's up 31%. And then 2021 came out, and I have to say, I bought not a lot of this stuff, but I bought maybe 10 blaster boxes at MSRP, which I think was probably maybe back then it was, well, I don't know, this was when Panini kind of started to jack their prices up because of the the COVID spike in the hobby, driving demand way up, and meaning that store shelves were always empty, so they kind of took the view that they could raise prices because A, everything was selling, and B, that might sort of tamp down the excess demand for cards. But in any event, I bought a few, maybe like 10 blaster boxes of this stuff, just from like Target or something, and immediately I regretted it because these things were absolutely worthless for the longest time. And I had a hobby box of this stuff I got from my distributor, and that was also like a money loser, even though I got it for wholesale pricing. And you can see, in the last year, this product has mainly been, kind of hovering around this $15 to $20 mark, which is less than what the MSRP was. However, in the last, you know, couple of weeks this has spiked up, and the sort of availability of this stuff is very limited as well. I went shopping to try and pick up more of this stuff on the cheap, but what's out there is kind of jacked up in price, and even at the jacked up price, there's not much of it available, so it's definitely kind of coming into its own. There is, I think it's Sophie Cunningham, is a teammate of Caitlin Clark on the Fever, and she was sort of in the news a little bit, or in the public eye, because there was like this fight, I don't know, several weeks ago, where Caitlin Clark got into a little scuffle and like got pushed to the ground, and it was kind of insane that like they didn't do more than they did to punish the players involved. But anyway, Sophie Cunningham basically did like a little bit of enforcement action afterwards, and like got a flagrant foul on a player, I think some minutes later in the game, and I think her sort of visibility really rose up, and so she has rookie cards in this 2021 stuff, so I think that's why it's spiked up. There may be other rookies in here that are of note, but I'm not aware of them. So anyways, that's 2021, and then 2022 I think is kind of starting to go up as well, just because what I'm seeing, I think, is people are just getting interested in, buying up this stuff in case, a player in the WNBA gets prominent and there have rookies in here, and then the product will go up. They're also looking at, the success of the 2024 product with Caitlin Clark, and, this started out relatively high when it first came out. People were wanting to, get it to open it for Caitlin Clark rookies. I got a couple of boxes of this stuff right when it came out. I did a video on this channel opening it, but it sort of, died down a little bit, and you could get these things for like $40 a box, actually into like high 30s there for bits of time. There's actually a $30.50 one, which is, man, a crazy good deal from like just about a month and a half ago, I think. But basically ever since about here, like the end of May, this has been on a very steady trajectory upwards, and now these things are like $55 plus a box. So the upward spike has begun. These are still pretty available in the sense that that market price of about $50 to $53 or $4 per box. At that price, there's quite a bit available. There's quite a number of sealed cases of this stuff on eBay, so it's not hard to find at current market pricing. But I just think this stuff is going to dry up, and I've not seen this appear anywhere in like retail, either online or in store, like for I don't know, a month or maybe more. So I just think this, to me, at $50 a blaster is a very good buy, and I think people are seeing this very significant upward movement since the lows of this 2024 prism, and they're saying, "Wow, gee whiz, these other boxes. I mean, these other boxes were at like $15, basically before the uptick that's happened with them recently," and they're thinking like that those might be very good pickups. So now they've driven the price up where they're kind of both above $25. I don't know what's in this 2023, but there might be a decent rookie or two in there. So in any event, that's just kind of some of the price movements. And if you see deals on these older sets, because they are very historically underappreciated and might still be sitting around in bargain bins for $10 a box, I would definitely pick those up. I think those are very good buys. And I'm basically continuing to sort of watch towards the 2024 market. I probably have, I don't know, a couple cases worth of blasters at this point. I don't think I have anything sealed, but I've just actually earlier today ordered a sealed case of the 2024 Prism blasters at about like $52 a box pricing shipped for that case. So it'll be nice to have a sealed case. But anyways, I thought it would be fun to open one of these and see what we can see in terms of players in here. I mean, I still, at this point, recognize very few players in the WNBA from, you know, this time period of 2021. So, other than Sophie, not sure who I'm looking for, but Aja Wilson is still one of the best players in the league. This is not her rookie by any stretch. She's been in the league for quite some time before 2021. I'm not sure if I ever opened any of this stuff. I feel like I might have on this channel a long time ago, but alright, Erica Wheeler, Leilani Mitchell, Brittany Griner. So she's the one that got like arrested in Russia and was there like languishing in jail for like a year on like some trumped up drug charge or something. And then got out. Now I think she's back in the league. I feel like that was during the COVID era where she got arrested and detained in Russia. Kayla McBride here. Got an emergent Crystal Dangerfield with the retail green there. Victoria Vivians and Super, one of the all-time greats. I think this is, you know, oh, she did actually play in 2020, so she was kind of, I think, retired shortly after this, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of cool. Maybe that's one of her last cards as an active player. Anyways, I think they still put her in, you know, products, as Prism has been known to do. Put many retired players in, you know, all of their football and basketball and, you know, NBA products. All right, Sylvia Fowles, I guess, probably. Alyssa Thomas. I've not seen a rookie card logo on anything yet, so I don't know if they didn't do that or if we just haven't gotten a rookie. There's Bridget Carlton with the another green retail Prism. We got 2 packs left here, 4 cards per pack. Pretty typical for Prism retail. Alright, finally we got a rookie card logo. There's Aaliyah Wilson. And that's with the Fever, who Caitlin Clark now plays for. Kelsey Mitchell on the silver Prism. Odyssey Sims and Chantel Lavender. Alright, so last pack. What can we pull? I looked up the Sophie Cunningham rookie, you know, just the base rookie card. And I think it's going for like 9 or $10 at this point, which for a WNBA like rookie is pretty dang good. A lot of, you know, the good rookies from like 2024, other than Caitlin Clark, like their base rookie cards right now are like $1 or $1.50. You know, like Angel Reese and what's her name? I keep forgetting her name. The big tall blonde gal who was a rookie in 2024 as well. Her stuff goes for just like $1 or $2, like the base rookie cards. All right, so we got a Sabrina Ionescu second year, and then another rookie, Michaela Onienwere. All right, so we did not get a Sophie, unfortunately, but it was pretty fun to see those cards, and got a couple, maybe possibly decent cards here. I feel like this name, Aaliyah Wilson, seems a little bit familiar to me, so she might be half decent, but I will sleeve her regardless, and the Ionescu Fearless is maybe worth $1 or $2. So yeah, definitely not something I would go and open a ton of because there's really not a ton of potential in these. But hanging on to the seal is pretty risk-free as far as I'm concerned. And I wouldn't hesitate to buy more of that stuff if I could find it at a reasonable price, but I haven't been able to do that, so I don't know if anything will ever show up. But anyways, that's our little review of the WNBA kind of Prism card market and a closer look at the 2021 Prism WNBA product that seems to be going through a little bit of a price spike at the moment. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you all next time. Have a great one.